Certain spiritual books leave you feeling like you know yourself a little better, a little more. They leave you with something that is core to your values and your emotional connect with your own self. Self-help and spirituality-based books are able to do this particularly well. Hi, this is Nidhi Keswani, author of bestselling book Live Your Dreams and your host for Luxury Unplugged. Today we are talking about 11 favorite books on spirituality and how can you start your spiritual journey. Certain spiritual books leave you feeling like you know yourself a little better, a little more. They leave you with something at the core, which only you can feel. It's about your emotions. It's about your connect with yourself. Self-help and spirituality-based books are able to do this particularly well because they help you find ways to keep working on yourself, on your spirit, and help you find peace of mind. It is important to keep growing in all the ways possibly you can become better. But do you really know what makes these top spiritual books the best recommended books? You see, there are endless spiritual books that you can find under the genre of spirituality. But we have selected a few over here that have proven to be extremely helpful and they're really well written. They will hopefully add some value to your life and they will prove to be well worth your time. Let's start with number 1, The Spirituality Revolution. And by the way, these are just books in the random order. They are not top 1, 2, 3 till 10. These are just books in random order. But these are selected pile from our favorite list. The first one is The Spirituality Revolution, The Emergence of Contemporary Spirituality by David Tacey. It is one of the best spiritual books that talk about how spirituality is no longer considered to be restricted to those who are religious. To quote the book itself, the emergence of contemporary spirituality recognizes that we have outgrown the ideals and values of previous times and reveals an image of the spiritual situation of our era. The spirituality revolution addresses a major social issue which requires immediate attention if we are able to creatively respond to spiraling outbreaks of depression, suicide, addiction, and psychological suffering. To put it simply, we are now a part of an era which is trying to rediscover its core values and beliefs, while also holding on to its rigid belief in science and technology. The Spirituality Revolution is one of the spiritual books that talks about how the spiritual movement has been coming into power, the causation, effects, and how can one become a part of it without necessarily having to be a person who follows any religion. Next one is Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life by Hector Garcia and Francis Miralles. Now, are there any spiritual books that are promoting spiritual awakening? Well, if you are searching for one, then this is the one for you, Ikigai. It literally translates to a reason for being, a reason that you exist and the reason that you are here. This term originated from the land of the longest living people in Japan, Okinawa. This is the best-selling spiritual book so far and has got quite good ratings. Ikigai is an inspiring book that will help you find your happiness, find your reason to be here. It covers a number of topics ranging from blue zones, which are areas of the world in which people live longer, to a variety of spiritual themes. It will help you establish the kind of mindset you have and how you can change it to help you live a healthier, happier, and longer life. There is a reason this book is among the top spiritual books that we are recommending. It's because it makes for an excellent and informative read with simple language and well structured ideas which can be comprehended quite easily. Next one is Mindfulness, Bliss and Beyond, a Meditator's Handbook by Ajahn Brahm. Now, Ajahn Brahm is an Australian Buddhist monk who claims to be a meditation junkie. He says the goal of this meditation is beautiful silence, stillness, and clarity of mind. Mindfulness, Bliss and Beyond, a Meditator's Handbook is his guide to meditation using the Theravada way, which means it teaches meditation according to the way of the elders. Ajahn Brahm, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, shares his knowledge of jhanas with examples to help you and guide you in attaining bliss and spirituality. You see, meditation is not only a way to relax, but it can also result in some real and significant transformations within you. So do not miss out on this book, which is one of the top rating spiritual books. Next one is The Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself by Michael Allen Singer. Unlike other spiritual books, this book takes you on a journey away from ego and the materialistic aspect of our world. It helps to form connections within your own core. To quote from the book, what does it feel like to identify more with spirit than with form? You used to walk around feeling anxiety and tension. Now you walk around feeling love. You just feel love for no reason. Your backdrop is openness, beauty, and appreciation. You don't make yourself feel that way. That is how spirit feels. You don't claim to understand what is happening to you. You just know that as you go further and further back, it gets more and more beautiful. The Untethered Soul teaches you to take a step back and observe your thoughts objectively, to get out of your own head and notice what the incessant chatter in our head is all about. How does the constant narration of the outside help us perceive the world and connect ourselves to the divine? Number 5, The Secret Path by Paul Brunton. This is a beautiful book that provides insight and inspiration to urge you on your personal spiritual journey. The book has been at good ratings. It has been getting good ratings like other spiritual books for the spiritual journey, and itself is written with immense clarity and a certain truthfulness. It will help you attain self-knowledge, and it teaches you how you can learn more about yourself from your own very self. It is filled with practical ways you can discover yourself, unlike other spiritual books. This is what makes it a unique book and deserves your read. Paul Brunton describes the overself as the God within us and how we can become more aware of them. Next up is Live Your Dreams, Be You. Now, Live Your Dreams, Be You takes you on an exciting journey packed with detours that life takes you on. It is a self-help book written, structured around the story of a young girl and the journey her life takes her on, and she takes us with her. The book really lets us understand the dilemma of the protagonist, that is Riya Jaiswal, and how she manages to overcome her adversities. It depicts raw emotion beautifully. It is a relatable read which might just mirror your own turmoil on dealing with family, life, love, but it also leaves you with lessons you can learn from. Subtle philosophical undertones and a feminist perspective maybe can be reflected throughout, but it makes for an irresistible read. Get to it right now. So, number 7, we have Freedom from the Known by Jiddu Krishnamurti. Now, the book starts off with the author listing all the things which do not let us attain true freedom. This content turns out to be different from the other spiritual books, as stated in the title itself, Freedom from the Known. It then smoothly delves into questioning about true freedom and how one can achieve it, and more significantly, how do we become free from our own thoughts. Quoting from the book, "But we do not ask, we want to be told." One of the most curious things in the structure of our psyche is that we all want to be told, because we are the result of the propaganda of 10,000 years. We want to have our thinking confirmed and corroborated by another. Whereas to ask a question is to ask it of yourself. What I say has very little value. You will forget it in the moment you shut this book. Or you will remember and repeat certain phrases, or you will compare what you have read here with some other book. But you will not face your own life. This passage from the book sums up what you will learn and read aptly. It is full of psychological, philosophical ideas, just like other spiritual books, and how you can change for the better, and how to actually want to identify who you are and who you are becoming, and what challenges need to be undertaken to become that new you. Number 8. We have here Zen, The Path of Paradox by Osho. Now, Osho suggests that Zen to be a possible bridge between scientific and the spiritual. The book encourages the user to let go of all their tensions and to start being responsive to the present. This message is to be included in every spiritual book that we have talked about so far, but ideally everybody is wanting you to be present in the moment, because I think the present moment is fleeting and we're just running in a mad haze, carving a beautiful future, of course, in our thoughts, but sometimes dwelling in the past. Anyways, getting back to the book, so this particular title makes for a thought-provoking read about Zen and even life itself. To quote Osho, "Without science, the East has lost much. Without meditation, the West has lost much. I'm trying to bring together East and West because together they will create the whole." Number 9. Transcendence, My Spiritual Experiences with Pramukh Swamiji by APJ Abdul Kalam with Arun Tiwari. APJ Abdul Kalam was a prominent man of science, an aerospace scientist, and had served a term as the President of India. Also a spiritual man with spiritual thoughts, and also a good reader of spiritual books. Pramukh Swamiji Maharaj, one of the most inspiring spiritual figures of modern times, was a friend of Dr. Kalam, and together they created an unparalleled science and spirituality companionship. Now you know where the idea of spiritual books could have come from. So there is a lot in terms of the philosophy of the book. Some of the major ideas include diversity and acceptance, learning from the diversity, appreciating it, forgiveness, and how to practice it. It also views Dr. Kalam on spirituality and information about his spiritual transformation. It is full of examples and instances and makes you want to read because it is intrinsically fused with science and spirituality. So just don't think of it as one of the spiritual books, but also a facts and a science book. Wow. Number 10. The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. A practical guide to the fulfillment of your dreams by Deepak Chopra. Now this book, like other spiritual books, provides you with spiritual ways of achieving your goals by understanding your own nature and learning to live in harmony with the natural order of things. It is a blend of philosophy and physics, practical with spiritual, and you must give it a read if you are working on your spiritual self along with other spiritual books. It makes for a somewhat complex read with layers and structures within the text, which makes the book highly interesting and immensely thought-provoking. This book, like other spiritual books, teaches you about how you can approach the idea of spirituality in your own life, in your own manageable manner, and inculcate habits to gradually build and grow towards a more spiritual lifestyle. So the book is divided into 7 laws, each of which is a lesson about spirituality and how you can start practicing it. It is a good way to start your spiritual journey, or if you've already undertaken it, to take it further. Last but not the least, number 11, The Heartfulness Way by Kamlesh D. Patel and Joshua Pollock. The book serves as a guide to the modern spiritual seeker and is contemporary incorporation of elements from various beliefs such as Sufism, yogic practices from India, and goes on to provide a pragmatic experience to the reader. Heartfulness meditation consists of 4 elements: relaxation, meditation, rejuvenation, and connection, which have been taken from the age-old yogic practice. It focuses on meditation and will prove to be beneficial to everyone trying to improve their concentration and focus. It can help you simplify and also incorporate the habit of meditation, and in turn letting you feel the benefits that come with it. The book is written in such a way that it helps one understand the mind, the body, and the spirit better. Heartfulness is an ideal way of living and is all inclusive of beliefs, ideologies, religions, and lack of them. So the approaches mentioned in the book draw from the teachings of the Sahaj Marg, meaning the natural path. So the Heartfulness Way will help you attain a life filled with compassion, empathy, love, and acceptance. The Heartfulness Way of life. You see, books are a great way to practice mindfulness at your own pace, and you can fit them into your schedule as you deem fit. You can take your time with each step, each book, and go back to them whenever you like. Your spiritual journey is not dependent on a guru that you wish to follow or you don't know about. It's basically just a book away. your spiritual journey can be enhanced exponentially by the inclusion of reading books in your life. On this note, signing off, this is Nidhi Keswani for Luxury Unplugged, where luxury meets spirituality.